everybody and welcome back to Eastburn Models. Today we're going to be doing some test samples on these 8 bottles that I've got of Vallejo. And then at the end of the test sampling we'll go back to the bench and we'll see what they come out like. And then put a recommendation on them. So I'll start with giving it a good shake. We're going to be starting with gold, a metallic gold. So we've got a test subject here. So we'll now, I have an habit of doing that and I shouldn't really. Just drop a few things in there. I'm actually using, to thin this down a little bit, thinners, it's Tamiya acrylic thinner. So we'll put a bit of paint in there. It's already got thinners in the cup, so we'll give that a mix and we'll see if, yep, that's fine. Wash that off. Let's get on with this one. So we'll just go over with a dusting first. Looks a nice gold, does that? We'll put this under the flasher. I better mix a little bit more paint because I tend to forget. I just put a little bit in bottom. That's alright. Just give that a wash. Always have a bucket of water over there just so I can swill things off. Yep, so we'll go again just with another light coat. It covers nice, really does. Grab the front. Looking well, looking well. Let's give it 10 seconds or so under the flasher. Yeah, it's a nice colour, that one. Nice colour. But I do like metallics though myself. And we'll just go over now with a bit closer but with a slower coat. Yep, that's got it. Look at that, that's a beautiful, that's a stunning colour. It's laid on really nice as well, really nice. So leave that under there. I'll go ahead and wash this out and then we'll change to another colour. Okay, so we're back again and this one is a metallic silver. So we'll give this one a try. Couple of drops in there, make sure it comes to it gun. Give that a mix. Like that. Give that a swirl. Yep, we're through. Right, so here we go. Just give that a little blow, that mark, and then we'll give it a light coat again. And then put it under the flasher. This one sprays nice, this one. But I think it's because it's already a grey paint, really is silver, and it's going over a grey primered tester, so it looks like it's covered it straight away. So we'll go again, another finish coat. Back under flasher. You can actually see this one under flasher when it flashes off. It starts hardening on the shell. Just give it a couple of seconds under there, and then we'll give it another coat. But yeah, nice looking paint. Right, we'll just go again now. We don't need as much. That's it. Nice colour is that one, yeah. So, leave it under flasher while I get cleaned up and we'll be back. Okay, so we're back at the booth and now we're going to be trying olive green. I think we've done all the metallics now. It only came with two metallics, a silver and a gold. So, we'll give this one a whirl. And then like a British racing green, this one, maybe on the dark side. Yep. Here we go. This is test subject 4x4. So again, a light coat. You're best off doing them in light coats because it don't take too long for it to flash off under the flasher. I have to do the baskets at the back just because it's the pickup. That's right. I'll put it under the flasher when I can put it in the thing. It's practically dry now. I haven't done the back. Let's give that a quick coat. Leave it there a couple of seconds while I just put the lids back on the paint. But yeah, olive green from Vallejo. I do like the Vallejos because they've got every colour you can ever imagine. For every scale model they bring out, they always bring the paints with it as well. Right, so here we go. Another light coat. You can see it darkening up a lot better now. So now we're actually getting the colour through. So we'll just leave it there a second or two. But everything I thin, the paints, even the cheaper art studio paints, it's a pumpkin orange is that one. I always use the acrylic thinner from Tamiya. I've tried water and everything, but I tend to have there's a lot of water content in that one, so if you're adding more water you tend to get a lot of bubbles. So I don't with this, and it helps with drying it as well. So we'll go over and put a little bit of a thicker coat on this time, because I think we can cover that one now. So we'll do the insides first. Like that. Here we go. Yeah, nice, nice. And I ran out of paint. That is typical, isn't it? So we'll just mix a little bit more up. I thought I actually put enough in that one, but I don't need too much now. There's my little towel. Yep. Let's give that a swirl. Here we go. Just give Hudder another coat. And that's just in time. Just ran out of paint. Again. Right, so we'll let that flash off now. I'll go clean the brushes out and we'll be back. Okay, so we're back. So now we're moving on to red. It's not metallic or anything, it's just a standard red. So we'll get some, make sure everything's clear. Bit of thinners. Get a bit of that through. Put a bit more in this time. Bit of thinners. Yep, make sure it's mixed. Swirl that out. Yep. And this time we're going to do a fire engine because it's red. So, like I said, these are all die-cast models anyway. Just the old children's toys that aren't worth anything. But they make great samples. So what we're going to do with this one is do another light coat. Reminds me of London's Burning. The old programme that used to be on. So we'll put that on that flasher. Give that a couple of seconds. But no, it's a nice red, is that one. Definitely a fire engine red. What I call it. Give that another wash. Yep, I think that's dry enough. Right, so we'll go back in for the second coat. A bit slower this time. It's covering really nice, really good. And there we have it. That's a lovely red, is that one. It's got real nice coverage. Might as well just give them a little spray while I'm here, because this is always going to be the test sample for Vallejo anyway. There we go. So we'll leave that under the flasher, and then again, because I've got a bit of paint left, I don't just want to waste it, because there's more in there than I thought. I'll just pour it into the, like this plastic urine sample containers that I got, and then I can keep it because it's already pre-thinned. It's sealable lids, so I'll be able to use that again with the paint. So I'll get cleaned up and then we'll come back. We've got 4 more colours to go and we'll see what happens. Okay, so we're moving on now with the blue from Vallejo. So we'll just give it a good shake up, and we'll be doing a nice pickup. So we'll see what that one looks like with this colour. Pump a little bit of that out. A little bit more thinner. Give that a stir up. I'm expecting this blue to completely flash it straight out, because the Vallejos are very good at blocking the previous colour out. So, yep, we know it's through because we can see it on the thing. So we'll go very lightly. There, look how quick that's done that. That's why we go over in light coats, because if you go over too thick, it won't adhere to anything. You need to be putting it layer upon layer. It's so tempting just to colour it straight away, but it might look alright when you've got it in your hand here, but as soon as you put it there on the flasher, what will start happening is it will start pooling up over at top at wheel arches and at the bottom of the sills. So put it on in fine coats, build the layers up. Some colours might take more to get the colour you want, more coats, but you will still get the same result. Just do it back of that pickup. I think another coat will grab that one. I'll just grab myself while that's flashing off, another sample bottle. I'm going to have a little bit more paint to put in there. Right, we're going for the final coat now. That's the one. I think that's got it. There. Shiny is that one. Obviously it won't be when it dries. It'll be completely matte. So again, we'll just save a little bit of the paint. Might only seem a lot when you're putting it into the jars, but there's a lot of paint there really. And again, we'll put that one with I'll label it up with the Vallejo blue, and then that will become the tub for mixing this paint, because you can mix your paint in these as well. But you can see how it sticks. A lot of people use the little tablet cups and they pull it up the side with a wooden stick and they watch how it drips, how it flows down. But you can do that with these, because you just tip them up and then you see it running down. So I get more control, especially if I've got grandad eyes. I get a better control with this one. Right, so I'll give everything a clean and then we'll come back with the last three colours. Okay, so we're moving on to the medium yellow from Vallejo. I'm sure I'm saying it right, but... So we'll put a bit of thinner in the bottom. Don't need that much really now. Give it a good mix. Yep, I can just see it on the mat. And we'll use this little mini, I think it is. That's it. Let that flash off. Might need to get another sample tub just in case. I normally have them stacked on the side here. And that's ready now, so we'll go over again, another light dusting. I do want to show, I'll show a photograph, the importance of a water trap. The camera probably won't pick the water up in here, but it's collecting a little bit of water, because the longer you use the airbrush it gets warm, and then the air starts getting a little bit warm because of the motor, so then it pushes it all up into here and collects it into here. But if I didn't have that on, it'll go straight out and it'll go straight onto the top of your surface there, so, and it just makes an absolute mess. So it's a key thing is a water trap, plus it acts like a pistol handle for you to hold it, that way you're not crinkled up. Especially me with my big shovel hands, I'd only have this bit here to hold on to, and then it gets a bit awkward, but now I can just grab it like a gun and just control it that way. So we're going for the last coat on here now, just go a little bit thicker. But again, we can see that it's going a dark yellow. And again, if I put this over a white primer instead of grey, I'd get the bright yellow. But I'm just trying the paint. But it is a nice colour still, even at that. On my previous video, I did try on the other paints. I did spray them over grey, even though I kept saying black all the time, it was grey. And I sprayed the exact same colour over a white as well to see the difference in contrast. Well, I don't really need to do it with these ones, because I know that on a white it'll come out a lot brighter than on a dark colour. So the more lighter colour you go with your paint, you want a lighter primer. So, and that's the rule of thumb, the darker you go for a dark primer. A, because it don't take so many coats if you use that line of thinking. A bit like white, if you've got a white primer and you're going over with white, it won't take as many coats to get it to the colour you white you want. But if you're going over a black or a grey, you'd need more coats building up, because you're covering a dark colour. So we'll leave that one under flasher now, and we'll get cleaned up and we'll come back with the final two colours, which are the black and whites now. So we'll come back with them. Okay, so we'll move on to the black now. Make sure everything's out. Couple of drops in there. We're coming to the end now. I've only got one more colour after this. So I won't put as much into this one because of the fact that it is black and it will literally just cover it. We hope. But anything can happen. We are spraying at end of day. Yep. Excellent. So another light coat. Under flasher. Couple of seconds under there, and we'll come back in. I knew I'd run out of paint. I just knew it. But we don't need that much now. couple of little drop in there. 6 drops in there. I just knew it. Yep, we're through. So we'll go again. And it's covered it now. And we've just run out of paint again. So yeah, it's just straightforward. It's just a black colour. So we'll leave that under flasher and we'll come back with the final colour. Okay, so we're back now with the final colour of just a basic white. So we'll finish this off now with a little test sample on this little car. Bit of paint there. It's just a couple of drops in there. Give it a stir. And then we'll be ready then for yeah. That's it. Here we go. That's it, we'll just flash that off now. Put some lids back on. Just give that a flash off. But again, if that was a white primer that were going over, it'd been done in 2 coats or so. But because it were a darkish colour anyway, because it were grey, it might take 2 or 3 now. And it won't come out as bright as you'd imagine it to, because of the black. I'm going to say black again then. The white primer, but you will still get a nice white. Put that under there again. So after this one, we'll go back to the bench and we'll have a look how they've done once they've dried anyway, and we'll be able to tell what the actual colour is going to look like. It's a bit hard to tell when they're drying because they're drying different shades. Right, we're going for the final coat now. That's the one. There we go. Looks lovely. Right, so we'll let that flash off. I'll clean up. We'll meet back at the bench. Okay everybody, we're back at the bench now. So these have had time to dry. So again, we're going through the Vallejo paints. So they turned out really nice to spray as well. They covered really good. They didn't need much coating really, but I think it's because we used a primer as well. So it always helps to use primer. I always use primer on anything I do. So we'll start over here. This one was the silver. So, and it was a metallic from Vallejo. And it turned out nice, really nice. There's not much of a metallic in it, but it could be that I thinned it down a little bit too much. It needs a lot more coats. But the problem I've got is because these cars are only cheap, the profile in them is not very deep. It's only a slight scratch basically, so it don't overfill it. So, but it is a nice. I can see the metallic in it, but yeah, it's a nice colour, that one. It came out really well. And then we go for the gold. Again, it's a metallic. There were 2 metallics that come in this set that I got. So I got the gold and the silvers. So yeah, nice to spray again. And you can just see there that there is a lot of metallic in that one. So it's just an old colour, is this gold, for the old cars. When you see it, it just reminds me of back in the day. I'm not that old, but a lot of cars were gold and stuff. So, but yeah, that's nice. I do like this green, olive green that they've got. It's a nice colour, is this one. Again, it looks nice. That a bit of lacquer on that. That'll really. It'll go a bit deeper with a bit of lacquer, but it will look stunning, that one. And then we move on to the white from Vallejo. It covered extremely well. To say it went over a grey primer. Now I can still tell it's got a shimmer of grey in it. It's just a deeper white, that's all. It hasn't come out what the bottle is, but I'm sure if I put that over a white primer, it'll come out like ice white, really. So, but like I said, I only had these last test samples that I had sprayed with primer. I need to spray some more now, because I keep all these with these paints like I did in the previous video with the Timbertex. I always keep the cars, so I know that when I want a certain colour I can look and pick which primer I want. Like I will redo all these now off camera in white primer, so I've got 2 of each, because I only tend to use white and grey primer. I tend not to use the black so much, even though I've got it. But I'll just keep these in a grey and I'll keep the ones in a white, so I can just put them together. Then the black, again from Vallejo, covered really nice, but black tends to do anyway. And it's all a matte finish, so once you put your decals on that and then you lacquer it in a satin or a gloss or a semi-gloss, it'll look stunning if that was an actual model you was doing. And then we move on to the yellow. Now the yellow didn't come out, it come out a mustardy colour, but that again, that could have been because of the actual primer that I was using. So I'm sorry if the camera's a bit out of focus. For some reason it just doesn't like focusing in on stuff. So yeah, so it came out, but I'm sure that if that went over a white primer, it would come out that colour. Like I said before, when you're starting to spray your colours, and the lighter the colour, the lighter the actual primer needs to be to bring that colour out. If you put light over dark, it comes out a dark colour. So it's not the paint's fault, it's actually the primer that's not the right one. That's why I like to do these in a white as well. So I do have 2 tones, like I said on the previous video, that you can actually get 2 colours out of one paint. You could actually get 3 if you did them in black as well, just different shades, so you don't need to start mixing paint or buying a certain bottle unless you require a certain colour, and then it would be easier just to go out and buy the actual colour. It adds to the paint collection. Then we move on to the blue, matte finish again. I like that blue, but like I said, blue is my favourite colour. It doesn't matter what colour it is, I do like it. But yeah, it's a nice one, that one. And then we move on to the red. So this standard red, so I did this little fire engine I had in red, and it turned out really nice. A nice colour. It blocked out everything really. Like I said, it was a little bit deeper, but again, it could be the primer that's doing that. I don't think it could be, it is the primer. If I put that on a white primer, I'm sure, instead of a grey, I'm sure it'll come out the same colour, a little bit as the bottle. So, but yeah, they're really nice to spray, these ones. This was a Vallejo colour. I showed this on a previous video. That was a Vallejo colour as well. I think it was that one. So I'm almost certain it was, because these are the only Vallejos that I've got. So yeah, I just liked the look of that van, that's all. That's why I kept that one. and that went over a, I think it was a white primer, that one. That went over a white primer before I actually got the grey. So it came out obviously different to that one because it were a deeper colour. But it is the same colour what's in the bottle. So that's why it does tend to alter your base coats. It alters the top colour. But, you know, to feel them and everything, they're smooth, they're sprayed lovely. And I'm sure with a bit of lacquer on top of them, which I won't be doing on these ones, but these are, like I say, some people use spoons or little plastic cards and stuff just to get their colour right. But I like to keep these, so I'm not, when I'm doing a model, I kind of know what colour I'm going to put on and how I'm going to put the base coat, which base coat to use, which colour to use, so I know which colour I'm going to get roundabouts that. So yeah, so that's what that is. And this one here is for, I showed this on my previous video, and that one was done in TimberTech paint. It was a cobalt blue, and I liked the cobalt blue that much that I did the Range Rover in the Discovery, so I did this one in the exact same blue, because these are just kids' toy cars, that's all, but they were beat up a bit like this one here, which needs to be done up again because it's all chipped out and it just needs sorting out basically. So I'm going to take it all to bits, and we're going to do a video on that one out, taking it to bits, stripping all the paint off it like I did with this one, stripping all the paint off it, getting all the insides out, and then respraying this one and then lacquering it, and then rebuilding it back up, because there's a dink in the roof here where it looks like a kid stood on it, so we'll have to knock that back out as well. I'm not going overboard with these because they don't hold any value at all. There's no, you know, there is, it's just got police patrol on them, made in China. That's all it's got. They're just cheap cars for just a different scale than these ones, that's all. But they come in a box when I buy all these cars. I've got about 300 or 400 of these because I keep collecting them because I use them as paint samples. So these were just in there, so we'll strip this one down, redo it all up, respray it to come out like a bit like this one, give it a nice polish up, fix it all up, and then I've still got a little bit of black to touch up on here on side steps, and we'll just do them. They're alright to put on a shelf, but at least when we put them on a shelf they're not looking like that, so they just look a lot better, that's all. So apart from that, guys, that's it for this video. Please join me on the next one because we will be going over the Land Rover Discovery, and we will be spraying that and finding what colour we want for that one. I would like to go for the same green, a metallic green if I can, but I will have to order that painting because I don't have a metallic green. But because, like I said, these don't really have any value apart from to the owner, which is me, they're not worth actually going out spending a fortune trying to get that Land Rover Discovery colour. I might as well, you know, if I just pick a colour I like the Baltic blue. I keep saying Baltic blue, but it's not Baltic blue. Because I like that blue, I'll keep that one. But I might go for the olive green on this one because it's not so far off, and once I put lacquer onto that it'll darken it out even more. So, and I can always alter the colour if I add a bit another colour into it. But yeah, I kind of like that olive colour, so I might actually put this the olive colour. So that's what I think we'll do on that one. But if you stick around on the videos, if you like, subscribe and share, that way you don't miss these videos. But that's the paint sampling done for these colours that I've got. So at least now we've got an understanding, and I've got colour charts to go through to pick a colour that I want for another vehicle. But yeah, so that's everything, guys. So don't forget to like, subscribe and share, if I can get my words out. And we'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys. Bye bye.